That's actually the best explanation I've heard as to why Disney movies all suck now.
Did South Park just...
Disney's latest Snow White remake appears to be yet another attempt at pushing modern agendas, and Rachel Zegler is struggling to deal with the backlash. In the South Park episode Into the Panderverse, the show brutally mocks Disney's growing obsession with reboots that seem more focused on meeting woke quotas than respecting the essence of classic stories. From gender-swapped characters to race changes that feel more performative than meaningful, South Park highlights what many believe is Disney's shift away from creativity in favor of forced inclusivity. Fans are growing tired of these changes, calling out the studio for prioritizing social messaging over authentic storytelling.
She's gonna be saved by the prince, and she's not gonna be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she...
South Park also takes direct aim at Disney's live-action Snow White remake, which has already sparked major controversy due to Rachel Zegler's divisive comments and the backlash over drastic changes to the beloved classic. Fans and critics alike are asking the same question: is Disney desperately trying to modernize, or have they completely lost touch with what audiences actually want? Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler, the face of this adaptation, isn't handling the satire well. Her response has only intensified the debate, turning South Park's animated takedown into a full-blown cultural flashpoint, but faced multiple delays due to behind-the-scenes controversies, reshoots, and overwhelming backlash from fans. Disney's decision to rewrite the classic tale has left many questioning whether this adaptation is a bold reimagining or just another misguided attempt at modernizing a beloved story. Rachel Zegler's now infamous comments about Snow White rejecting romance and aspiring to be a leader instead of seeking true love have only added fuel to the fire. As critics accuse Disney of prioritizing political messaging over storytelling, audiences are left wondering, will this be the wake-up call Disney needs, or just another sign that Hollywood has lost touch with its fans? Which is far from normal, even for a big-budget film. The extensive delays and additional filming have only fueled speculation that Disney is scrambling to fix a project already plagued by controversy. From the moment the trailer dropped, fans were quick to criticize everything from the film's CGI to its drastic changes from the original story. Many even joked that the trailer looked AI-generated due to its unnatural visuals and awkward dialogue. While Disney's live-action remakes have seen their fair share of backlash, Snow White might be the most chaotic one yet. That's a bit strange, right? A reshoot that late in production usually signals major issues, and many speculate that Snow White underwent a significant overhaul. Now, let's talk about the budget. The film reportedly cost around $269 million to produce, with marketing expenses expected to add another $75 million to $125 million, possibly more. That brings the total cost to roughly $300 million, meaning the movie needs to earn at least $650 million globally just to break even. With all the negativity surrounding it, that's a massive challenge. Rumors even suggested Disney might send it straight to streaming or scrap it altogether, but instead, they're moving forward with a theatrical release in March 2025. Actress Rachel Zegler has only added to the controversy with her comments before the film's release, calling the original Snow White outdated and insisting that her version doesn't need a prince to save her. Essentially, she's giving Snow White a full personality overhaul. Once the trailer dropped, the internet erupted. Fans were less than impressed with this new take on the classic story, and the comment section quickly became a goldmine of sarcasm. Some have dubbed it Snow White and the 700,000 dislikes, while others are outright calling for Disney to cancel the movie. Meanwhile, some viewers are just there for the chaos, joking that the best part of the trailer is wasting time scrolling through the comments. But why all the backlash? A major reason is Disney's ongoing attempt to modernize classic fairy tales, often in ways that many feel strip away what made them beloved in the first place. Strong and independent leader rather than a damsel in distress. While that message might resonate with some, it has left many fans of the original 1937 Snow White confused and frustrated. The biggest concern seems to be Disney's push for a modernized version of the character, with a heavy emphasis on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. While these themes are important in today's world, many feel that they are being prioritized at the expense of the original story's charm and heart. To some, It no longer feels like a timeless fairy tale, but rather a political statement wrapped in a Disney remake. Rachel Zegler insists that her version of Snow White isn't about pushing an agenda, but about creating a modern, empowered character for today's audience. However, this explanation isn't doing much to win over critics. Fans were hoping for a faithful adaptation filled with nostalgia, familiar characters, and a touch of Disney magic. Instead, many feel like the movie is more focused on meeting diversity quotas than telling a timeless story. As one frustrated commenter put it, "We just want movies without politics, guilt, and agendas." Entertainment is supposed to be an escape, not a lecture. Meanwhile, South Park, never one to shy away from controversy, has jumped into the conversation with its latest episode, Into the Panderverse. The show brutally mocks Disney's recent approach to reboots and casting choices, calling out what many see as forced inclusivity and unnecessary changes to beloved classics. The satire is hitting hard, and for a lot of fans, it feels like South Park is just saying what everyone else has been thinking, swapped without any real narrative purpose, serving only to check diversity boxes rather than enhance storytelling. This mirrors what critics argue Disney has been doing with its live-action remakes, prioritizing inclusivity over authenticity and depth. By exaggerating these trends, South Park cleverly exposes how forced representation can come across as shallow rather than meaningful. The episode doesn't just criticize Disney. It takes aim at the broader Hollywood trend of altering beloved stories to fit modern social ideals, often at the expense of the original material. Into the Panderverse ultimately raises the question, is Hollywood genuinely evolving storytelling, or is it just pandering to current cultural narratives without substance? Hard to say, but the backlash is undeniable. Many fans feel that Disney has strayed too far from the heart of classic fairy tales, replacing timeless storytelling with modern social messaging. While some viewers appreciate the effort to make these stories more inclusive, others argue that the studio is prioritizing ideology over authenticity. If South Park's satire is any indication, audiences are growing tired of Hollywood's obsession with reimagining classics to fit a specific narrative. With Snow White already facing heavy criticism before its release, Disney may have to brace itself for a box office disaster. Will the studio learn from this? Or will they continue down the same path? Only time will tell. Disney's reputation is on the line, and Snow White is shaping up to be one of its biggest risks yet. With recent films like The Little Mermaid and Elemental underperforming, this remake could go either way. From reshoots and CGI dwarfs to controversial casting choices, the movie has become a spectacle before even hitting theaters. Fans are divided. Some are cautiously optimistic, while others think Disney has lost its way. The big question remains, will audiences show up out of curiosity, or will they reject this modernized take on a classic? Should Rachel Zegler's Snow White be the new face of Disney princesses, or should these timeless fairy tales stay true to their original magic?